Up next on Eco Company.
We're heading into the kitchen, but this isn't your normal kitchen, and these guys aren't making soup. They're working on energy efficiency.
So a more efficient stove is one that, given the same cooking task, will be able to do it with less fuel. It's like the easiest way to describe it.
Gloves required, so guys, don't try this at home.
Plus, plugging in.
People are always asking, like, oh, where can I get one of those?
We catch a ride with a founder of the Green Youth Movement to find out what's driving her mission.
And ready for a little pedal power? These guys are, and this isn't the only way they're greening up their campus. They even have a monster lurking about.
Then food justice, air quality, and greener school campuses. This group of young activists has it all covered. They're changing the world around them, one idea at a time. Eco Company
starts now.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. I'm Brendan.
And I'm Jelena. Ever stop to think about all the energy we use at home?
Especially in the kitchen. Now, you may have a gas or electric stove.
But imagine if everyone had to use charcoal instead. That would be really bad for the environment.
However, in many areas, they don't have any other options. But that's where some Berkeley researchers come into play. These are test chambers at the U.S. Department of Energy Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, a place where researchers like intern and high school chemistry teacher Alan Boltz are heating things up. Cook stoves like these are used by people across the globe.
Between 2.5 and 3 billion people, so about half the world's population, cook on open flame every day for their food.
The problem is that a lot of these use charcoal for fuel, and not very efficiently. And since charcoal is a fossil fuel, that means it's giving off CO2.
The amount of, particulates, like if you've ever been around a campfire and you get that soot on you, it's like all that soot goes up into the atmosphere. Now multiply what you just did once by 3 billion, 3 times a day. So the numbers, when we look at it that way in terms of that exponential impact, then it really began to make sense in my mind, the need for more fuel-efficient stoves.
There's another big problem too. Charcoal takes a lot of wood to make, and in countries that rely on it, like Haiti, forests are almost gone. This NASA image tells the story. The green on the right is the Dominican Republic, the brown, that's Haiti.
In Haiti, there about 98% of the country has lost its forest due to the production of charcoal. So they're kind of working at an environmental deficit right now.
That's where this lab comes in.
And the Berkeley Lab was basically asked to test all the stoves to look at efficiency. That way, as the NGOs or non-governmental organizations in Haiti are distributing the stoves, they'll have an idea of what's the most efficient versus the cost and ease of use and all those other variables. It's definitely climbing.
Here they're using a 3-phase international standard water boiling test to see which ones do the job.
At this elevation, the boiling point here is actually 99.9. We just had to transition, take all of our measurements, how much charcoal was still in there burning, how much water we had lost due to evaporation and boiling. And now we see we want to get it at a simmer point and keep it there for 45 minutes. And that simulates basically cooking rice or beans.
They already know traditional stoves aren't good options, though they're popular because they're easy to make.
One of the downsides of it is they're pretty inefficient. Because of the large fuel size, you could really stuff them full of charcoal, which a lot of that is then going to go to waste as heat that's escaping out the sides.
This one's not much of an improvement. To get that, you need 2 things. A smaller area to put fuel.
You see efficiency go up just because people can't overfeed it.
And insulation.
Based off of the physics and the mechanics behind heating, we are going to see an increase in efficiency with insulated stoves, just like you would at your house.
This one's a modified version made in Haiti.
The clay itself will hold a lot of heat and be able to give that heat back during longer cook cycles.
As for the one over the coals right now, it uses fiberglass instead of clay, which works too. At the end of the day, Bolt says it's about finding a solution now.
With this information, as soon as we get the analysis and the efficiency, it'll be used immediately in Haiti to help the people there now.
It's helped not only in terms of energy efficiency and cleaner air, but also for saving what's left of Haiti's forests too.
Okay, so are you ready to take a ride in an electric car?
Jessica fastened her seatbelt to catch a ride with the founder of the Green Youth Movement.
And she's a teen on the road to sustainability.
This isn't what you normally see headed down your average street. That is, unless you live near Allie Mays, the driver behind this wheel.
People are always asking, oh, where can I get one of those? And we always tell them.
Allie's the founder of the Green Youth Movement, an organization she started when she was just 15.
The main goal of GYM is to promote green education within elementary and middle schools, and my main target is this age group because I think that if they learn the sustainable practices they should live by at a young age, it will stick with them in their future.
From planting gardens at elementary schools and promoting recycling programs, to hosting an eco-friendly fashion show at LA's Fashion Week, and campaigning for safer cosmetics like Lips Against Lead. GYM is on it when it comes to spreading the word about living a cleaner, greener, healthier lifestyle. And that also means driving one of these. You have a hybrid and you drive an electric car. Why do all this?
Well, I think that the oil crisis is one of the major problems that faces our country and our world, and we're running out of oil, and we're going to have to come to the realization that we have to use alternate energy sources. So I think it's really great to use electricity instead of gas. It's one, cheaper, and two, better for the environment. I'm not releasing any fumes or anything from my engine when I'm driving, so I think it's really important to do that.
That's exactly what she told her parents too, when it came time to get her driver's license.
She said, well, whatever car that I'm driving, it has to be a hybrid. And I turned around and I said, why? What does it matter? And she said, well, I just saw the movie Inconvenient Truth at school, and it really did something to me, and I really want to do something good for the environment. And I was like, who is this kid? I mean, she had never mentioned the word green or global warming or trying to do something, for the environment before.
They were surprised at first. I've always been a little, off the walls and just like doing my own random things, but they were very supportive. They took everything I threw at them very well, and they changed with me.
Well, I think the first thing she did was change the plastic bags. A big pet peeve of hers was people taking the plastic bags from grocery stores, so those went. From that, we went to changing out the light bulbs. She had us use shower timers, so we would cut back our showers.
Let's talk about Allie's backyard.
This is the sustainable garden that we planted in our house. We have peppers, we have different kinds of lettuce that we use in salads. Here you can see little strawberries growing.
Allie says knowing where your food comes from and how it's grown is what it's all about.
One of my favorite things to do is to actually go to schools and plant with the kids and to teach them how to grow their own fruits and vegetables and to harvest them and eat them so they don't have to deal with pesticides or they don't know where their food's coming from. They actually plant it and they see it grow and they eat it, and it's kind of like a nice thing to teach them about sustainability.
It's all part of GYM's mission to inspire others to make changes too, to protect the planet's future.
It's not in the future, it used to be in the future, but it's actually like we have to do something about it right now or the whole world is going to change.
Need some ideas to help your school go green?
Well, we're willing to bet that these guys have a few. And that includes one for you fashionistas out there, plus a green way to shake things up.
Plus, this is one crew you want to meet. They're doing some pretty amazing things to help the planet. They'll give us the scoop coming up next. If you want to know who's going to change the world, put these next guys on your list.
They're a group of young people who each saw a problem and decided to do something about it.
Jordan caught up with them to get the scoop.
It's smiles all around for these guys. But don't let it fool you. This group is nothing but serious when it comes to the planet and everything on it. They're bold environmental leaders, each in their own way.
I believe that all people should have the right to good, healthy, nutritious food.
I was a college student and I got really kind of frustrated with sort of my university's environmental footprint and its environmental performance.
I just became involved with this organization that was in my community called Kids Against Pollution.
I started a nonprofit organization called Kids vs. Global Warming about 3 years ago.
Alex, Shadia, Rachel, and Hai are all eco-activists recognized with a David Brower Youth Award. It's an honor named after the founder of the Earth Island Institute, a nonprofit group that supports people coming up with solutions to protect the planet.
Honoring young people is so important because they are change makers, they are the visionaries, they are the sort of right on the cusp of really coming up with some incredible ideas.
Anisha Desai heads up the Institute's New Leaders Initiative. It hands out 6 BYAs every year.
And we want to sustain their activism through adulthood, and so we catch them when they're really young and bright-eyed and thinking about change.
So let's go meet these guys. First up, Hai Vo, sustainable food activist and farmer.
I'm a foodie. I look at sustainable food systems, and I like organizing young people to think about, advocate for, and be educated about food.
It's a passion that's very personal to this 20-something who grew up eating what he calls junk.
Did you always eat healthy?
No, not at all. 4 years ago, I was 120 pounds heavier. I was 250 pounds when I was 18 years old. And I grew up with junk food, processed food, sugar. And when I moved to college, I saw something different. I wanted to change.
In college, he changed his diet and co-organized the Real Food Challenge project at the University of California, Irvine. It's part of a national campaign to get more ecologically sound, humane, and fair food onto college campuses.
I did 3 things. I found out how much sustainable food was at my college. I helped educate students and the local community members about what I was finding, and I advocated for policy. So we were able to get the university to purchase sustainable food.
He even got the entire UC system on board too. The goal is to get 20% of the system's budget allocated to sustainable food sources by 2020. No easy feat considering what's out there.
98% of our agriculture is monocultural, it's industrial, there's use of pesticides and herbicides, and we don't want that going into our body.
It's challenges like these that Vo and his RFC peers are taking to schools and communities everywhere.
We see the future and we see the type of food system that we want, and the type of food system that we want is a food system that is ecologically sound, that is organic, that's local, community-based, humane to animals, and fair to people.
Now meet Rachel Barge, eco-fundraiser and educator. This UC Berkeley College grad saw a problem on her campus and decided to do something about it.
I found out that we created over 1 billion pounds of trash a year, that we had a bigger carbon footprint than the entire nation of Cambodia, which is a country of 13 million people. I was like, how can my little campus of 40,000 students have a bigger carbon footprint than Cambodia? That is crazy. Clearly, as students, we need to do something.
That's when she got to work and came up with TGIF.
We're talking about the Green Initiative Fund, and it was a model to help raise money on college campuses to fund really important environmental projects.
In 2007, Barge convinced students to pass a green fee. It's $5 each semester, all of it going to fund environmental projects on campus.
The students are the ones that are creating the opportunity for all those projects to happen.
Thanks to TGIF, the campus installed a campus energy monitoring system, native plant nursery, and other upgrades. That's what we call youth power. Now say hello to Shadia Fain Wood, taking aim against toxics with political activism.
I was around 7 years old when I went to a kids conference, and it was on toxics. My area in upstate New York was inundated with toxic waste, and so it was a big issue.
This eco-activist waged a long battle to clean up New York Superfund sites.
The Superfund is the toxic waste cleanup money, essentially. So in New York State, the Superfund program had gone bankrupt. And so what that meant was all of the 800 toxic waste sites in New York State were just sitting there, polluting the ground and people's groundwater and giving people cancer.
8 years of lobbying later, victory was theirs. In 2003, the state of New York agreed to refinance its Superfund and get back to the business of cleaning up the state's worst contaminated sites.
It's, a simple issue when it's kids that are pushing for their health and the health of their community.
Next up, meet Alec Lures, high school student and climate project presenter. And we'll say this, he's one busy guy.
I've spent the last 3 years traveling around the country, giving presentations about climate change to schools and different environmental events, and really representing the youth when it comes to climate change.
Lures was just 15 when he signed up to be trained by the Climate Project and Vice President Al Gore. But that's not even the start of it. As an 8th grader, he founded Kids vs. Global Warming to draw attention to climate change and things like sea level rise.
Anything we can do to lower our carbon footprint will really make a huge difference, and living our lives in a way that we consider how all of our actions impact future generations and nature and everyone to come.
It's a message he plans to continue taking on the road. So just how important is it for young people to get involved?
It is so important, because the thing you'll learn as you keep getting older is the grown-ups don't always know what's going on, and actually we can be the ones that are staying ahead of the curve and learning about all these problems and learning about all the best solutions to face them.
These Brower Youth Award honorees are proof that young people can create positive change, and they're hoping their efforts inspire us all to do the same.
I believe that we were born to solve this crisis, and this is what we as a generation are being called to do.
So what's lurking in your school hallway? Probably not this guy.
Up next, one high school gets a visit from the plastic bag monster.
More Eco Company is coming up.
Lots of schools have one environmental group these days, but try having two.
Yeah, we visited a San Francisco high school where one club just wasn't enough.
Today is our Abraham Lincoln High School Earth Day, and it's where all the Green Academy and Eagle Club have presentations about the environment to get more students aware about how their actions affect the environment.
You want it black, right? So you want this as a headband, right? I'm Inez Vara, and I'm a member of the 10th grade Green Academy at Abraham Lincoln High School. We call ourselves the Green Ambassadors, so we're teaching small, green, doable solutions.
This is about 500 bags on this suit, and an average person uses about 500 bags in a year, in just 1 year. And we're trying to get everyone to use reusable bags.
To see my students really engaged and really passionate and really knowledgeable about something, and have them glow and want to share this information, I feel like this is why I'm here. I'm Vanessa Carter, and I work with the Environmental Service Learning Initiative, which is a 2-year pilot program here in San Francisco City Schools. They've been developing these projects, and this is their opportunity to take action and educate their community. So this is their showcase.
My name is Hanson Hong, and I'm a member of the Abraham Lincoln High School Eco Club. Right now, I'm giving out free bags to let people know about the environment and how our diet affects it.
We've got other groups that have been looking at food, whether that's about organic agriculture or thinking about local food, urban farms.
Our school applied for a $100,000 grant to rebuild our school and make it a green schoolyard.
Yeah, actually we just talked to a couple of students right now, and they say they were really excited and they actually wanted to help us participate in the planning and the construction and everything.
We've got another group who has been focusing on zero waste and thinking about how can we avoid putting anything into the landfill so that there is no waste, because really we're beginning to understand that there's no way.
I think all of these colors look pretty good. It's called upcycled fashion. So like what upcycled fashion is, kind of like recycle, but it's upcycle. When you buy things, use it to its highest potential. Because like most people use it like maybe once or twice or 3 times, and then they just throw it away. And then what? Today, our whole thing was to get people to make them too, to show that it's not hard to do. So we just need a little bit more.
I think that this is an opportunity for us to reconfirm how powerful young people are and how much their voices matter.
Reusable bags are the future, and plastic bags are pretty much our past.
People think like, oh, I'm just one person. Like, how am I supposed to make an impact on the world? When you really can, when it's just like one small thing, like what we're doing today.
We as the children, future generations, should be being more aware of the environment and the things we do and how it affects it.
If your campus is doing something to go green,
we want to hear about it.
Grab your video camera and start rolling.
Create a video and upload it to our website at eco-company.tv.
Hey gang, thanks for joining us this week.
Don't forget to fan us on Facebook.
Or head to eco-company.tv for more info on the show.
We'll see you back here next time on Eco Company.